Mm. I'm still thinking about this mid lane, to be perfectly honest. Like, what do they want to do? Do they want to go something stable like the Conquer that's not going to be counted out by anything except a Razor, which is still in the pool, and is just able to safely farm, keep those lanes pushed out, but isn't able to get like super active and force people to
Dire
take
team
attention
pick.
away from the Spirit Breaker?
Admiral
But
Tonka.
I like this from Ragdoll. They just pick it up. Again, it's a really good hero. You're going to be, somewhat effective against the Weaver as well, just for being able to get those pickoffs into kills. It's a lot of burst damage, 100 to 0. I feel like this is probably the most ideal scenario they could have hoped for. Now, the question for me
10
is,
seconds
are they going
remaining.
to go for this Razor
Yep.
on Nigma.SEA? I feel like it'd be a
5
pretty damn
seconds
solid one,
remaining.
and it might even force the Monkey King into not being a core, so that you're not having quite as good of a lane against the Spirit Breaker.
I'm a big fan if they go Razor. Matchup versus Conquer is great in the lane. Like you were saying, the matchup versus the Monkey King as well. As the game goes on, you've got a big counter to him. The only one issue is I feel like you're lacking a lot of stuns then. Spirit Breaker
Grim
can kind of
Razor.
provide that. Grim Razor? Okay. That's a great
I want to
combo.
see Grim Razor.
I guess Shadow
Yeah,
Demon kind
Grim
of
Razor's a
prevents
great
that a little
combo.
bit though. Like with the Purge, if you're putting all your eggs into like the Spirit Breaker being the hero to play off the back of with that Grim, so maybe you might need like another hero.
But again, I'm just thinking Shadowblade, right? As soon as that
Okay.
happens, great,
Okay.
And as soon as you take out the Shadow Demon, then you look to use, for example, the second Ink Swell onto the Razor. He just runs at people. He's going to have his BKB, and there's going to be no way for them to stop him, right? Right now, Demonic Purge is the only BKB piercing. I'm going to call it a disable. You move so damn slow that it almost feels like it, and it ruins a Spirit Breaker, it ruins a Razor. So he is priority number one, and I feel like you just need to try and enable that as much as possible on Nigma.SEA. So yeah, Grim Razor for mine is just a great combination with
Dire
honestly
team
all
pick.
three of the heroes if they went to go
Oh,
for
wow.
that. But something a bit different. Just wanted to dominate the laning phase, I guess.
Um, do you like the Undying kit? I feel like,
Not a huge fan, to be
yeah, I don't
honest.
know.
Radiant team
So
pick.
the one thing I was worried, they picked it into Conquer. Oh, I don't know. This Conquer matchup's not good for the Invoker at all. You can, all right, boy oh boy.
Might be a comfort thing.
10 seconds
All right,
remaining.
let me pose this to you. If not the Invoker, what would he have picked?
5 seconds remaining.
Because Alacrity's hero pool has basically been banned out in the
Dire
second
team
phase,
ban.
plus the Conquer was picked.
You're right. They've been pairing the Invoker a lot with stunning heroes. Last 3 times, maybe even 4 now, Alacrity's played X-Sword Invoker, and every time they've had stuns in pretty much every side lane. Almost every single hero has had a stun. So,
10 seconds
and if he goes
remaining.
cross-Wex, Conquer wins that matchup. EMP's annoying, but he's just going to
5
out-harass you. He
seconds
gets level
remaining.
6, and then you've got Shadow Demon to rotate, Nyx to rotate as well. So the way I'm looking at this is that they're going to give everything to In Your Dream. He should have a winning lane with the Undying because he's a really, really strong laning
Radiant
support.
team
And
ban.
this hero just revolves around securing your position 1 and getting him farm. And as the game goes on, you've got bugs to amplify and you've got Alacrity to amplify as well. But,
Are we seeing a Faceless Void get prepped for with this Beastmaster being removed?
yep. Yeah. Also,
10
like,
seconds remaining.
they don't have heroes to defend it all. Like, where's the wave clear coming through from the Undying Weaver support? But 100%, the combo with Invoker is you've got that just one big ulti into Cataclysm. That's the fight.
You still do need to deal with the Shadow Demon first, though. Like, that's the
That's
other
true.
issue.
Yep.
And as of right now, like, Mizu, of course, he gets a ton of
10
farm on the
seconds
Spirit Breaker,
remaining.
but is it going to be enough? Is the sentry coverage going to be enough
5
as well
seconds
for the Shadow
remaining.
Demon so that he's not getting consistently caught out by this charge? Or is he just going to be playing very effectively around the trees? I feel like that's going to be the big condition for Ragdoll here, is how
Radiant
effectively
team
are you going
ban.
to be playing inside that fog? Again, this Tide Hunter
Dire
screams
team
to me,
pick.
Faceless Void is what they want to pick.
They leave it through. Okay. If the void isn't an angle they're looking for, is there any other position ones for In Your Dream that stands out? I mean, if you want this big win condition, Deuce is there.
She is, but
10 seconds remaining.
I was kind of considering it a little bit.
5 seconds remaining.
I was just trying to think of like what would be a great target for Alacrity, and the Medusa is that for sure.
Radiant
You are already
team
kind of hard to
pick.
kill, so I think both
Phantom
are fine, but they're going to go
Assassin.
PA instead, huh? I mean, it's great. It's another way to get it onto the backlines, right? My big issue is you have very little lockdown relative to what Ragdoll have, and that's a concern for me.
10
At least once they
seconds
pick up
remaining.
BKBs, it's going to be incredibly effective. I wonder almost if this is a
5
game where
seconds remaining.
Ragdoll can kind of be like an item ahead because they don't have to buy BKBs. The only one that they're going to be concerned about is Invoker in that regard. So if you can pick him off first with your combinations, if you can pick him off once, like you win the fight just because you're that far ahead and you don't have to waste 4,000 gold going for this purely defensive item.
Oh, it's a GY
Choose your
Timber.
hero.
And it's a pretty goddamn good Timber game as well.
You're predicting first, called it.
What? What's this? What? All right, fine. You want to be the pussy. I'm gonna say it. You want to be that guy that makes me go first? That's all good. Ragdoll.
I'm going to need a final answer.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got time. I don't have to decide right now before the first blood. I'm very worried that...
Before 0 seconds.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay, before 0 seconds. First thing I need to see if there's a Crosswex Invoker or not. Regardless, Conker's going to win that matchup. I think you've got two really strong sides. You got 3 lanes that should win on Ragdoll. My issues on how they take objectives, so maybe Timber, Aghanim Shah can always be a factor, but Monkey King at the later stage, you can just drop Wukongs, hit objectives. I think Ragdoll have much better team fighting capability, and like you were saying, Nigma.SEA really lack ways to initiate fights. I think it's going to be off the back of Mizu having a really good game, and that is something we said might not be something that's going to happen because you're against a pretty big counter in the Shadow Demon. So I think just on the matchups on paper, I'd have to give the edge to Ragdoll here. They've gone for comfort. I think their lanes are really favorable. So yeah, I'm gonna go Ragdoll. I think they're gonna take it.
I mean, I am a little bit concerned about their high ground push as well, but when you consider that, like you mentioned, you've got the flamethrower and the timber saw that you can use for it. Monkey King isn't horrible. You know, you can just drop the Wukongs. It is a position 1 Monkey King
Prepare
coming
for
through
battle.
with the bad luck, have fun coming out here from Mizu in the all chat. You can even get a Meteor Hammer, I guess, on the Nyx Assassin a little bit, especially like early on. It's going to combo relatively well with the X marks before those BKBs start to come out on Nigma.SEA. And, you know, just so that we're all winners, I'm going to go Ragdoll as well. So we're going to end even.
Of course you are.
I just wanted to, you know, I kind of knew that first game was going to go my way, and I brought it back because I didn't want you to feel bad. You're like my little brother, you know. I can't beat you down all that much.
Oh, so what's the competitive side to you? I thought you were competitive. That's what you've been saying the whole season, and now you're like, no, you know, I'm just going to copy you.
The game 1 showed my competitiveness.
Oh, what did it?
And I won.
Well, I won game 2, so like, what's going on here? For anyone that's not aware, I guess we do have to keep some people up to date. Danog and I have done kind of this prediction betting thing. Betting sounds a bad way to put it, but just guessing who's going to win every match for the entirety of the season. Whoever gets the most correct guesses gets a free dinner, free cream, free ice cream, and a free slab of mate. So there's a lot on the line for us and a lot on the line for these two teams as well. One more game to determine who will be the second to move up to Division 1. And we might already have our first blood too, Yif. That is quite a peculiar position, putting a lot of emphasis on trying to get rid of the Observer Warden. Looks like the banishment will give them that time to reset.
Gives them the cheeky little tip as well. And it's kind of fitting, right? You and I, we cast the first series of the Division 2 for this season. We're going to be casting the last game as well for Division 2. So it's we're bookending it very nicely. I still think this bottom lane is where a lot of the action is going to be obtained. Mizu just using the charge, not necessarily for damage, he just wants to get to that lane real quick. Doesn't want to miss out on any of these last hits because it's going to be a tough lane for him regardless.
We know Weaver is a exceptionally stupid laner. Do we feel like he could offset some of the issues that the melee Spirit Breaker will have into the Monkey King?
A little bit, I suppose, but it's still going to be hard. Like, I really rate this Ragdoll lane coming up against the Spirit Breaker.
Let's also take a look at some of the side lanes. The Timbersaw versus the melee and the Undying. Quite often Undying is really strong against the melee strength heroes, so We'll see how this matchup goes. This should be a free Timber lane. I mean, PA does absolutely nothing to you. You're just going to give stick charges over to the Timber, and it's going to get to a stage where I feel like Ragdoll can take this tower. Probably the first catapult timing, honestly. Might depend on if we see Citrus make an early rotation, but that's the nice thing about having a really strong bottom lane, that is even menu ping could come over the top.
Yeah, for sure. And with GY, once he gets probably level 4, let's say, you just open up the ability for Yif to be able to rotate X marks onto an Invoker, plus a stun, plus a torrent. Easy to be able to take him out. So you're going to be looking at around probably the 4-minute mark for this next assassin to start the rotation towards the mid lane. Maybe 4 minutes, just so that he can protect the other water.
GY?
Well. You get a lot of value out of the magic stick for sure, but you are still, of course, going to be suffering a lot of this harass.
Yeah, without a doubt. And how's mid looking at the moment for Alacrity? He's a little bit behind the Conquer. So, what do you feel like the real big issues are with this matchup? Because I know we spoke a little bit about it in the draft, but we didn't go too in depth of why the Invoker kind of struggles.
I mean, one of these heroes that needs mana to be able to get farm, right? So as long as you've Tiebringer available, you're going to be able to act around. The being Quas Vex helps a little bit just because you got a decent amount of regen to be able to counter that out. But yeah, at the end of the...
Oh, bottom lane, we might actually have our first blood. Okay. Just able to get the Sakuchi out. So how close that could have been. I think the Monkey King had already used Boundless previously, so VT Faded didn't have a way to lock him through the Sentry, and now that Nigma.SEA had been able to win an extra little battle, even a second one now, getting rid of the Courier, so some minor things going their way. See how GY is continuing to play as well. Really surprised at the lack of last hits that he has at the moment, but I guess early on that is kind of one of the weaknesses for Timber. Like these really early levels, we see that Yif is kind of playing the outskirts and trying to give him as much solo experience as possible.
Yeah, and look what Yif's doing. 4 minutes. Done to make that rotation. He's moving towards the top rune, making sure to secure that. Or he's communicating well with Citrus. Just looking to shove this wave in, grab that water rune on the bottom side, and maybe look to go for a gank. But Polyston, he recognizes that this is the sort of movement that he needs to be making at this time, and not going to stop kill potential from happening, but he is going to steal away that bounty rune. So nicely done there.
Yeah, we also saw just previously that Yoken was able to snipe a second Courier, which was the Gloves of Haste for the Monkey King. Going to be just a lane dominating factor. That extra attack speed really big to get these Jingu stacks going. And I mean, Spirit Breaker doesn't have the greatest attack time as well, so maybe just able to get a last hit, then get an extra deny. So really important that Yokem. It's kind of been enabled though because of how they've postured the Observer Ward onto the high ground. And Radiant haven't recognized this. I mean, Yokem might just go for another snipe here if he's fast enough.
Common spot to be able to put down that Observer Ward, so I'm a little surprised that Ragdoll haven't gotten rid of it, particularly against a Weaver, right? Like it's... Well, there we go. They get the third Courier snipe, so nicely done, Yokem. It means that this lane, even though, again, it is favored for the Monkey King, you're making up a lot of that farm just from that shared team net worth that gets through from all these Courier snipes.
Yeah, I mean, surely that has to be a signal now that there is at least a ward on the higher ground. 3 Courier snipes, and it's been every time now that the Couriers come out at perfect timing, so...
I guess if you keep sniping the Courier, the sentries, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, you get a mega value out of this as we take a look at continuing how the supports are looking to battle it over. You spoke a lot about Yif making these rotations and, Polyston's continuing to kind of mirror this movement as well, but it is leaving Timber solo versus the Phantom Assassin, and this is that catapult timing that I was speaking about. It's actually going to be Nigma.SEA that are making the move into Citrus. He's got the boat. Is the run buff fast enough to keep him alive? Just getting the collapse will hold back Dire. They need the zombie damage. They're not going to get it. Yokem's even swinging on over as well to try and find the first blood on menu ping. When the Gemini attack, they'll get it.
So close. Just all these little things.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. He nearly got a 4th courier snipe sitting underneath the tier 2 mid. But yeah, this is certainly pretty tough. Obviously, we were watching all the action. I'm not sure how the catapult ended up dying on this top half here for GY. He's kind of would be doing a lot more damage into that tower than what
Mid lane? Citrus actually go down? It's gonna be okay. This is twice now back to back that Citrus has been bought exceptionally low. So I like the moves to bring the Undying mid. Of course, up against this strength here on the Conquer. And you see, you know, even though, you know, Alacrity is doing a decent amount of damage as well at this stage. So I really like how they're kind of trying to offset the rougher matchup that it is on paper.
It is still going to be Mizu falling that little bit behind at the bottom net worth expected. Really, where he looks to shine is when he's able to make a lot more of these plays, play right on the edge.
Bottom. Alacrity, first rotation to one of the side lanes. VT Faded's in trouble. Mizu's gonna charge on past the Monkey King, and Alacrity finds another kill here. Nigma Galaxy.SEA, really strong start for them. I'm gonna say, not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that the vote is enable with that ganking. He's even in charge well now. Enables you obviously have a few more connections into him until he gets some trap. As a Boss Invoker, it's a lot less likely to be looking to go into that. So
top lane in your dream. He's gonna jaunt away from the Yif stun, but they've got extra follow-up thanks to VT Faded stun from afar. Do they have the damage though to cancel the TP? They do not. Great heads-up awareness there from the Phantom Assassin, just recognizing stuns are lacking after they've already used them prematurely, and he's out to safety.
Structures are fortified.
You see, they're going to try and come down bottom to defend the tower. GY is going to try and be the defender. Paulson heads out TP, but Menu Ping, this time they'll at least be able to have the cancel. So this is pretty big for Radiant, taking their top tower and being able to keep the bottom one alive. Actually, in fact, it's still up. Okay, never mind.
Very nicely done.
All right, well, with how this game's looking at the moment, I mean, you've got Alacrity top of the net worth, 4,000. He's working on a Spirit Vessel early on, which is going to be a bit of an issue for GY. This is definitely one of the powerful things about going this Quaxwex Invoker with how much value you're going to get out of it this game. So how are we going to look to see GY itemize accordingly to this?
Would have expected. Obviously, they've got very strong lanes on Ragdoll right now. And the net worth is indicating that with them coming out better than expected. Plus the courier snipes, of course, helping.
Danog, how are we expecting GY to itemize in regards to this early Spirit Vessel on the Invoker?
It's going to be a little bit challenging, but I feel like you just want to play away from wherever the Invoker is. You know, again, as soon as you are just revealing on the map as the Invoker, you just look to move away on
GY. Rainbow TP's bottom. He's gone across the boundary once again. I mean, Shadow Demon's nearby, but as soon as you show the face, the rest of Dire are just going to charge on forward. Another straggler that's caught out, and Radiant just feel like they're a little bit too powerful than what they are really at this stage in the game. Mizu might be in some trouble. He'll try and chain control the Conquer perfectly so he doesn't get that extra control afterwards with the torrent. So Mizu will keep his life. Simultaneously, we can get a nice cheeky snipe with the deny up top from Yokem on the tower.
I'm very surprised with how well these lanes have gone for Nigma Galaxy.SEA. I mean, In Your Dream is able to come down here, connect together with the Siege Creep. He's sitting well at the top of the net worth here. And, you know, against a Timbersaw, against a Shadow Demon, you do want that initial burst that a PA is going to be able to provide you. I just thought that, particularly around that 5-minute Siege Wagon timing, that it would have been a lot more pressure put onto the top side of the map so that GY wasn't forced to come down to the bottom side quite so early.
Is this really how you were expecting the start of the game to go?
I mean, I predicted Ragdoll, didn't I?
Yeah.
So no. I think things will change though. I mean, Citrus, he's about to hit a big power spike. He's about, what, the 650 gold away from being able to hit onto that armlet. Most of the time though, you want to land that around the same time that you hit your level 10 on the Kunkka. So he's already hit the level 10, he's got his plus 30 damage, but just with the lack of kills that he's been able to obtain in the meantime means that he's going to be a little bit short on the item front.
And simultaneously, the progression in farm from Phantom Assassin continuing to skyrocket. We've got a couple of components working towards a Battle Fury. Alacrity's going to look to make a move down bottom with the Spirit Vessel, and GY needs assistance. Menu Ping's going to be able to get nearby fast enough. Now, this was set up for the combination on Alacrity, but it feels like Radiant, they don't have the numbers to combat the movement at the moment until VT Faded looks to show up. It's a beautiful torrent with the follow-up in the Monkey King ultimate die. They need to reposition away from the area. They're going to do so now, turn back towards GY with another strike, holding away Citrus. They've still got a little bit more crowd control to the right, but now that even Yif is getting ready to rock and roll in the party, they'll look to prioritize In Your Dream that pounces on forward, gets a successful kill on the Shadow Demon. This has opened up Citrus though to be vulnerable to Alacrity. He'll look for a TP out of the tree line. Alacrity, can he get the last little damage? He cannot. Great TP.
That's actually a really big deal as well, because that was the last charge on the Spirit Vessel. If they kill him, not only, of course, do you get the kill, you also waste the TP, and you get those 2 refresh charges at the end there. Kind of surprising how long the Tombstone was able to survive, but it was a good call by Ragdoll to just look to retreat together as a team, make sure you're fighting away from it, and a great team fight join by VT Faded coming through there at the very last second with that great burst coming through onto the Weaver.
Such a sad life as any hero when you get all your mana just burnt out by a Cospex Invoker. Like, what does Yif do now? You burn all your gold on Clarities, you go back to base, you're just wasting time? I guess he just sits in the river with the Ocean Heart. That's one way to answer it.
True. Didn't even notice that. Very nice. It was also on GY, suffered the same sort of issue. It was like a split second too slow with Menu Ping getting the disruption off, so he wasn't able to save the Timbersaw's mana. Maybe he would have been able to survive at the end of that if he was able to get that full disruption off, have an extra use of the spells, but unfortunately not. And but I still feel like you're okay with all that on Nigma Galaxy. They dropped the Tombstone this time around to assist with taking that Ancient stack. Now it's just a question of how close is In Your Dream to this Battle Fury. It's not too bad, and it's nowhere near a naked Battle Fury either. Power Treads, Orb of Corrosion, he's doing pretty well for himself.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And how do you feel like this rates us out of some of the Phantom Assassin games? Like, is it, you know, top tier, or is it going to be a little bit more difficult into some of these matchups?
It really just depends on who is the one to actually start a lot of these team fights. I feel if Nigma Galaxy are the ones taking onus of, you know, are we going to be able to find this Timbersaw? Can we find the Shadow Demon? It's a great PA game, but the opposite is also very true. You know, if you're able to get that Aghanim Scepter up eventually on the Shadow Demon, get the breakthrough onto the PA, suddenly your evasion isn't going to protect you from the Kunkka and the Monkey King dual cores. Same sort of thing with the Timbersaw, right? If you can start on the PA, it's going to be very effective at being able to burst you down.
We're seeing Ragdoll put a lot of emphasis at the moment at playing behind GY in this dead lane. Are you a fan of this instead of kind of... Because for me, it feels like, why do you need to be here now that the tier 1's already dead? You're not protecting a tower. Maybe you're taking away like an extra lane of, an extra quick way of farm that PA could have gotten, and maybe 2 jungle camps as well, but it's keeping you away from getting this tier 1 mid.
Top tower is under attack.
Keeping you away from mid, I honestly don't hate playing in the general region, but I feel like Menu Ping, with how tanky a Kunkka and a Timbersaw are, doesn't need to be right there as Paulson he's getting engaged on.
Is he going to get bursted down though, GY? Looking to reposition the tree line, but Alacrity's found him out. All the mana burnt out. Great time in the cold snap as well, and they're going to once again lose the Timbersaw. We'll try and make it over the tree line, but even In Your Dream looking to get involved as well as Jokem granted for the kill, getting closer and closer towards the Aghanims. And let me see, Radiant, they're not in a position to... I mean, they had multiple heroes down bottom previously, but now they've all dissolved away from the area, and they're not set up to trade as well in objectives.
Yeah, so what I was saying before was I feel like Menu Ping being on the bottom side of the map is fine, but I feel like his time would be so much better spent as a Shadow Demon from just roaming around in the jungle, building up stacks for the rest of the team, because Kunkka, Monkey King, they're great at being able to take these hard camp stacks in your own jungle. But yeah, he was just standing behind a Timber Saw who, I mean, as long as he's not right up underneath the tier 1 tower, he's probably going to be okay. The only reason he died there was because he went for a kill onto the Undying that didn't eventuate.
UI doesn't have too many stacks at the moment. They're going to look to lead the charge on the Undying. No ultimate, no tombstone available as well, so not the most valuable hero to bring down to start, but nonetheless, they should now secure the tier 1 that will finally fall, and this is really important from Ragdoll. A lineup that, you know, early on can look to penalize how weak the Phantom Assassin is, but I mean, in your dream, he's already well and truly on his way towards the BKB after his Battle Fury.
Game looks a lot more positive now for Ragdoll, though, being able to take that tier 1 tower, really open up the map, because as an ex-assassin, you want to, of course, be that initial catch for this team fight, because you can't just rely on the Kunkka doing it the entire time. Kunkka needs to be playing this role where he's farming, he's weaving in and out of a lot of these engagements. Unfortunately, with the X marks, he's not going to stay underneath the cover of the invis, just in case someone came through too early. But yeah, for right now, it feels like he's still just playing that role, protecting GY a little bit. What's he even got queued up next? Looks like the Yule Scepter play.
And you ping. Poor guy. I know there's not much VT Fade he can really choose. But actually still going to be pretty cautious of how long he wants to stick around. Looks like it would just be a freebie on the Shadow Demon. Apologies, what were you asked a question before that fight occurred?
No, not a question. Just GY, he took a camp and left a Brigand's Blade on the deck.
Oh, sorry. We got more fighting alacrity. Gonna try and bring down the Invoker. Not the easiest target at the moment, but with all the emphasis they're putting with the damage, they will secure the kill. Horson's gonna look to reposition to the north. The BKB usage from VT Faded will secure them this skirmish from Ragdoll underneath the Dire's outpost up top.
Yeah, even though they had this nice little area to anchor the fight around with the Undying Tombstone placed onto the high ground, gave them that little bit of extra vision. Holy Locket picked up by Undying here, plus, of course, the heal from the Soul Rip. Still not enough to save the Invoker, so he is going into that Boots of Travel. I kind of understand it. You, of course, want to be there to connect through with any kind of kill that Mizu is trying to set up for, but it does mean that you are so much less effective if Ragdoll decide to get aggressive onto you. So it was a good rotation coming through there. It's just about the supports perhaps being a little bit more in position to be able to stop that engagement.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It does feel like
the Brigand's Blade is still brilliant. Like, as a Monkey King, you want a Brigand's Blade. Like, it's probably one of the best items that you can get. It's just to the left of the Radiant outpost.
Goddamn Centaur. This big-bodied man's just unable to see it so far. You'd hate for Mizu to go snag it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He might. He's moving that way. Yeah, he's gonna get it. Oh my lord.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Instant back at base. Who does this fit on the Dire side?
Wouldn't hate it on Mizu, to be honest.
Wait, they're roshing. Okay, Ragdoll. This is a really early move. They've scouted this out, but they're a bit disconnected to Smokers all 5 to get towards the area, and Radiant can just drop Wukongs if need be, and Boat as well to secure it. So it looks like this one will go for free.
Yeah, Mizu went all the way back to base. And, well, the key thing is, though, he has the Shadow Blade. So now what I'm going to be looking for is Menu Ping, his positioning. Right now he's in the river, basically feeling a little bit suicidal there. You don't want to be on low ground any chance that you can get against a Spirit Breaker, but yeah, this is the real concern for mine. How well is he going to be able to play around these trees? Because, yeah, I mean, you've got save, I guess, somewhat, in the form of a lot of the stun combinations coming through before you get this BKB on Mizu, but you're the one that wants to be that key save in most of these team fights, so let's just have a look at how he's going to consistently play around the rest of his team.
Citrus leading the charge with a smoke. Yo Camp just completed the Aghanims. This might catch them off guard with this item. And look at the Tombstone once again, anchoring the team fight on the high ground. The Boundless going to look to start the fight, and VT Faded wants to pounce into the middle of it all, but he hasn't had the opportunity to get the Wukongs out. They need some way to keep Nigma.SEA inside the rings, at the damage starting to stack up. Radiant, they've already lost 2, but them themselves are being able to hit back with all their damage from the cores as the buyback's coming to play. Mizu's going to find the angle in, even the Shadow Demon recognizing the importance of this fight, but Citrus with the BKB on cooldown, there's no way for him to reposition. Now they can turn their attention to GY, but it's Timber to the high ground. GY will be okay.
Man, I was talking about in game number 2 that I would have given the anyone else but In Your Dream, but this one, In Your Dream, is number 1 for me. It just feels like his rotations are always incredibly solid. He's finding the back lines. He's knowing when to initiate, not going too deep away from the rest of the team. It was a really valuable use of that first BKB.
We've still got ages for another 3 minutes here. How do you feel like Ragdoll look to play the map now after that skirmish? Are they going to wait for their ultimates to come back up and then lead for a plays? Actually, Mizu top. There's a big kill. He did just buy back. Mizu's game is now really grim. Yes, you've got your Shadow Blade, but my god, your net worth is not looking good at all. Ay, ay, ay. I mean, up to the towers they go now. VT Faded and GY feeling comfortable. They're able to do some work.
Oh, they're playing around a lot of these objectives. You've got a double wave coming into this tier 2 tower top. Not wanting to use the glyph for it either, so it's going to be a free tier 2 obtained. And obviously they've already taken that first Roche, but sets them up nicely for the second one.
Dire's top tower is
Such an even slate we have though in this game. Very, very even net worth lead it's looking like. Feels like either side though have these, what you said before, anchoring abilities. The Tombstone on Dire for Radiant with the Wukongs. So it's going to be super interesting to see how they can prioritize the location of these fights that we see.
No. Hundreds. So at least now they've got the Spirit Breaker back. Still, it does the team make more and more space for Mizu, though. He needs that BKB. He needs to make sure that he's a key part of a lot of these engagements rather than getting picked off at the very start of them all.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
GY's got that flamethrower too. So yeah, these objectives are going to start to fall at a rapid succession. They honestly might just look for the tier 2 down bottom as well. So they've still got a minute left on the Aegis.
Has fallen.
To be a big
Dire's bottom tower
able
is under attack.
be sure do you get him as soon as it's available against the Timber Store, against the King. Pretty damn important.
Smoke up. Mizu's flying on over as well. Charged on GY. Got a lot of reactive armor stacks, so not the easiest Pergan to bring down, but they're going to make the attempt. The instant jump in Your Dream's going to look to reveal the Desolator. They'll turn to VT Fade as well, getting rid of the Wukong's command. This is the fight for Dire to hit back. They'll find Shadow Demon in the tree line, but now how can they take the skirmish afterwards as GY's gone as well? The Tombstone standing in the middle as VT Fade is going to try and do as much damage as he can at BKB through the last second TPR, but he's not successful. They've got the Yules to cancel, and VT Fade, it's gonna end up falling. The rest of Ragdoll have kind of still stuck around. Citrus and Yif, hand in hand. Citrus can just BKB TP out. They have any vision on Yif though? They know he's there, they do. The dust, they've already got this out, so they're well aware of the Nyx Assassin's positioning. And Nigma.SEA, what a team fight to bring them back in.
It's in your dream, right? Like you made this super deep jump in by the Spirit Breaker. It allowed you to place down the Tombstone. It allowed you to get that Flesh Golem off. There was a ton of healing done by Polison in that team fight as well, just to make sure that, I mean, it sucks to say for all the Mizu fans out there, but he didn't care that Mizu died. He did his job. He had that initial burst in onto the Timber Saw, allowing the PA to do her work, and it was just allowing everyone else to be consistently in that team fight and stay as this big fighting force around that Tombstone. So it was a sacrificial play by Mizu, but it was the right one.
And we see In Your Dream is starting to make his way to the Satanic. I was just going to ask a question of when do you feel like he puts value onto the Aghanim Shard, but it looks like after the Satanic is when he feels like it's necessary.
Yeah, he previously had just the Shard queued up without the Satanic, so maybe with that team fight feeling very confident about being able to take the next Roche for themselves. You've of course got the Medallion of Courage, you've got a Desolator, you've got the Aghanim Shard, sorry, you've got the Swarm on the Weaver.
Radiant. Looking to take another fight down bottom. It will be a little bit too late to catch Alacrity as he slips back onto his side of the map. They got a pretty strong ward by the triangle though to take the fight with.
They desperately want this BKB on Mizu though. He's even holding onto the Philosopher's Stone, something that's normally reserved for the supports, but you still are doing a lot of your damage purely from the charge, so the right click minus attack damage isn't that big of a deal. And they want to take away this tier 1, I feel, just to really enable that next Roshan. All that extra space that it provides you. Even if buybacks come, maybe they rejoin 5 or so seconds later and that's the window that you need.
Yeah, exactly right. Look at the emphasis they're putting on top. 2 wards now placed, 1 in the lane, 1 above, I should say, to the right of the secret shop. So Dire, they know the importance of this next Roshan. It could just completely turn this game 3 on its head.
You gonna see Mizu sell anything? He's 400 gold shy of the BKB.
Get rid of that null. Smelly null.
That's pretty good. There's a Spirit Breaker.
Still smells though.
Radiant's top tower is under
There we go, he's got it.
There we go. You got it. Alright. I'm feeling pretty confident now in Nigma.SEA with being able to take it. He's even got the Nether Shawl picked up for himself, so that extra spell damage. Not too concerned about the minus armor, it feels.
Citra's gonna try and de-ward. Gotta be cautious.
Coming.
Alacrity's given over the amplification for In Your Dream as well. They're looking for the pounds, but Yif, he's already started the fight straight on top of the Invoker. They'll get rid of Alacrity. They're gonna look to In Your Dream next. He's actually gonna BKB TP out, so Nigma.SEA, they've resigned this team fight to Ragdoll, but they're gonna lose a secondary target as well. As Polison put in the grave, what a fight for the boys on Radiant.
I'm talking about the power of Gaben previously with the DD out in front of Roche. This time around, he's smiling a little bit on Nigma.SEA. It's going to be a long-ish Roche respawn, about 1.5 minutes, which means that they're going to be back at full force, and you also are not going to have to contend into the Wukongs, perhaps. It's a pretty big deal for that, considering they only really use the Undying's abilities in that team fight.
Is there a lineup you'd say is a little bit more favored in regards to 5v5 team fighting, or is there one that kind of has to split up the map and force the enemy team to be playing with a numbers disadvantage?
Well, you don't really want to be split against a Spirit Breaker, right? Because you've always got that strike if it's on a, or the boots on. So for mine, it's going to be...
Oh, VT Faded charged. They kept the stun lock on Menu Ping as well. A really valuable target if they can bring him down to start. Grosceptor will give him the time. Purge as well makes it really difficult for Mizu to reposition. But GY is going to look to charge on forward. Yoroken with the blink in, but In Your Dream on the backline. They're going to try and blow up the monkey. They'll do so successfully now. In Your Dream turns his attention to Citrus. Not the easiest person to bring down, so they'll look for GY. The TP out just makes it. But guess what? Roche is up.
Didn't even have to buy the shard.
Oh my. Jesus.
Wouldn't hate that, but I feel like you got it in your dream at this stage. Yeah.
Alright. I mean, that frees up a lot of gold now for In Your Dream. Age's advantage. You got the break as well with the fan and knives. And, I mean, we see what can happen though. If Mizu can at least run into the Shadow Demon and do his... just do his job. Stun lock the Shadow Demon for a little bit. forced some early use of the BKBs, then maybe you don't care as much if you're purged through the mid use of that fight, because you've already done the deed.
I'm liking the shard purchase from the Weaver as well. Against the and of course, also got the Monkey King, and it's going to be pretty damn effective at being able to reduce a lot of their kite ability potential.
I think Alacrity, yeah, they're giving him over the tome as well, so he's very close to level 20. We see the emphasis they're putting on looking to enable In Your Dream. 23 for himself, Basher getting worked on next. Got 100% see the Aghanims coming out shortly as well.
Sorry, we just talked about the PA Bash. Is that?
Yeah, the Basher and just Alacrity as well, having a level 20 coming out shortly. So it's going to be a big way to just amp up PA's damage.
You yeah, I can
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
spot lower cooldown, able to play so much more aggressively.
We're in a position to pop Pulse and Smoke. Alacrity's still under the cover at the moment. They're going to get the confirmation of where the rest of Dire are positioning. Radiant, they need to fight around a choke point. This Wukong's has to be an area where Nigma.SEA are not ready to just kind of run mindlessly forward into the ring.
There's that Basher. Walking around without boots right now is in your game.
It's the life of a carry. You get to a stage, you're this goddamn farmed. It can feel good and all. You got 6 slotted, well, 6 slotted including ages. Boots in the backpack, you're like, boys, I'm so what the heck? Goddamn, Mizu's just dead. What's the opposite of Regicide? Yeah, for VT faded, finding a big kill on top of the Spirit Breaker. They did use Wukong's command for that, so Dire smoked his force, seeing if they themselves can get a pick off across the map, but it looks like Radiant, they're down bottom instead. They've got some very good wards around the area, and yeah, VT faded. Damn, look at the damage! 2 hits the Undying. And now Citrus has got the BKB. The numbers advantage is all on Ragdoll's side, so they can turn it around. Mizu, recognizing the importance for the team fight, he's going to look to buy back and help out In Your Dream. He's not winning the man fight at the moment. Timelapse going to give him some assistance, but Ragdoll, they're looking to do whatever they can to kite the Phantom Assassin. But now that Mizu's back in, the stun lock is all they need to follow up. They'll get rid of the Monkey King. They're going to look to turn their attention to Menu Ping next. Kite the Timber, kite the Conquer. That's the name of the game at the moment. They're doing it at a solid amount. In Your Dream now has the opportunity to jump over on Citrus. Yours is out. He doesn't have many heroes to play with, the level 25, so he's bouncing on forward. But GY, it's not an easy kill at all. The break down to the southern side. In Your Dream still feeling like he's in fighting shape. They've got no way to kill him. It's just kiting. That's the name of the game now for Ragdoll. They'll get back out to safety, but it is a costly fight nonetheless.
Another dieback for Mizu.
Is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, Mizu's going through it this game. Take a look at the net worth. I mean, Yokem is about to be at a stage where he's ahead of Yokem's 6-1-8. Like, somehow this guy is just... I feel like it's just the Weaver hero, though. Like, Nigma.SEA have utilized this through a lot of series through Division 2, and you get in a game like this, you see his net worth, and now you got a Blink, you got a Psychic Headband as well, so it always feels like the save will be there.
This is your classic 4 Protect 1. Everything is being put in onto In Your Dream. It's a lot of pressure to be under, but, you know, Blink Dagger on Weaver, Psychic Bend on Weaver, Aghanim Scepter on Weaver, Holy Locket on Undying, Constant Souls, buyback charging in on Mizu, Alacrity buffing up with the Alacrity onto him. Like, everything is being put in place to ensure that this PA has a good game, and In Your Dream, he's delivering so far.
Yeah, that he is. 100%. Abyssal Blade next item. It's got the Sliver to play with. Triple Dagger too. Such an even game. Not even 1,000 net worth lead in it.
They've given the Philly Stone back over to Spiritbreaker again. Like, they just need to make sure he gets this Aghanim Scepter. And then he probably can afford to be a little bit more greedy, rather,
My way.
in these team fights.
Bounty.
Well, do they make a play? Like, VT Faded has a double damage rune. I don't know how you look to start the fight. We've seen a lot of smokes previously. And Ping is still holding one at the moment, so if they feel like this is an angle to go for, and yeah, it looks like they're setting up as 5. It might be under the Dire Ward. Ah, nice awareness. This game might just continue to stall out at the moment. Waiting for that next Roshan. See if it's able to continue on. Oh, well, we got a minute 20 until it might potentially spawn. Again, what more could you ask for? Game 3, a fight in a minimal net worth lead for Nigma.SEA.
What's the win probability looking like? It's favoring Nigma.SEA slightly, 2-1 odds. But only 200 gold away from Mizu being able to pick up that Aghanim Scepter. It's really important for him, like just for that extra little bit of tank. It means that he's going to be able to have that extra item in his inventory as well. He's finished it. So big plus for him. You want to make sure you're replacing that neutral item as well to something that's actually going to provide you with some sort of utility in a lot of these team fights. Wouldn't hate to see an Elven Tunic. Wouldn't hate the Cloak of Flames either.
Oh, we got a Spell Prism for the Invoker? So, that's not too bad. Definitely take a way to amp up Alacrity's playmaking potential. And obviously they put a lot of... Oh, hold that thought. Either side on the opposite river. GY is going to look to lead the charge. But now into the hands of In Your Dream. I believe they missed the evasion here, so GY is able to get out of distance, but it's a wasted Wukong's In Your Dream. Jumping on forward, straight on top of GY, but they've got the banishment to give him some protection. But instantly, they'll look to turn their attention to the Shadow Demon, getting rid of Menu Ping, but Phantom Assassin's in trouble. Yorken jumps in, time-lapse out to safety, but In Your Dream still lacking mana, lacking health to play with as well. Oh, screw that, give him the Alacrity. He wants to continue to take the fight. With the BKB lacking, it's not going to matter. They've got the control, they've got the damage. Down goes the Timber, down goes Monkey King as well as Nigma.SEA. The King's in front of the pit.
Oh man, In Your Dream, he survives on such little HP, able to get the second use of the Satanic off in that team fight. It's all off the back of just being able to find those targets. Even though the Sunstrike didn't land on Alacrity, it gave them the vision that they needed to enable him to jump in onto that Shadow Demon, use the buyback on him. It was a really good team fight again for In Your Dream.
Definitely feels like the name of the game, isn't it? Find the Shadow Demon, that's it.
Yeah, he's nearly got that Abyssal as well. There we go, finished up with enough money for buyback.
Oh no. You're lucky Roche is such a long respawn though.
I was a little bit worried for Mizu as well. He charged into that fight still holding onto the Philly Stone. Obviously understandable, but Ascetics cap, you just feel so much better about that. Being able to face up into the Monkey King when he doesn't have that MKB just yet.
Dire coming.
Look at Yif's
Dire
positioning.
coming. Ready, they've only got 3. And now Yif's going to reveal himself, so the Nyx Assassin is just succumbing to his death. And Citrus might be able to chuck out a boat, but regardless, In Your Dream, 3 hits the Nyx in the burrow. 60 seconds until he's up. He's about a 15-second lapse here where they won't have the Nyx for Roshan.
And even with how bodied he got in the laning phase, even using multiple buybacks into immediate diebacks, Mizu's Spirit Breaker is still almost level 25.
We've seen him be top of the net worth. We've seen Mizu go... the first time at least I saw Spirit Breaker Refresher was Mizu. We've seen how he can play this hero and get creative with it. And he's going back into that build that's going to provide them so much control Citrus. He's got some heroes smoking behind, but instantly they're going to look to jump. Bursting through the conquer, but the banishment's on point from Menu Ping. They're unable to deal with the component in the Shadow Demon, and now around the choke point, they've got to be cautious. The Wukong's starting to stack up the damage. The Jokam's going to blink into the middle. The time lapse not enough to keep the Spirit Breaker alive, but now with the Wukong's command expiring, Nigma.SEA, they're going to push on for more. Right at the awareness though. They've been able to back up. Down to the southern side. Roche is up.
It's probably the first slightly unfortunate thing. If this is an Aghanim Scepter, it's fantastic for In Your Dream right now. He is just one-shotting people. It would give him all of that extra little bit of cooldown reduction whenever he kills someone, because he is just... They're giving him everything. I don't know how many times I need to say it, but they are just putting a lot of faith in him. He's returning it in spades. All he needs now is that Ags.
Is there any other way you could see them amplify the PA? Does he even need more amplification this game?
He's got a Solar Crest coming from the Weaver.
Oh boy. Oh my.
Yep, just wanting to wait for that buyback money.
Could you even see Yokam go like Vlad's next? Like another kind of utility aura item?
I hate it. What else could I potentially see the Weaver going?
If they're gonna jump in the burrow once again, but Menu Ping, Soul positioning the high ground. They're gonna purge up In Your Dream, which will give the Knicks a little bit of space to get out of the burrow. They need to play around with the level 25 in the command, but they're out of the ring, and this is a huge victory for Dire. Oh my god, you've almost died to the Sunstrike too.
Oh.
Shouldn't be enough, surely, right? Just look at the regen.
Well, obviously they were able to get out of that Wukong's, but with the delay, it means that Kunkka is most likely going to be able to be part of this next fight. You've got, of course, Menu Ping there, able to just lay down those shadow poisons from the high ground. Monkey King as well, jumping around onto the high ground.
I don't know if they can contest this without Wukong's. Like, how do you control the pit without it? Mizu, he's going to put his body on the line. Look to make space. VT Fader gets in the pit. Shard, Cheese Thorn. If he can use it for the Wukong command, this could be huge for Ragdoll. He's going to look to put it in the inventory. They're trying to deal with a Tombstone in the moment, but someone needs to provide assistance for GY. Shard used, so now they have the BKB as well. Keep in mind, Aegis on the Phantom Assassin too. No casualties at the moment for the fight. Oh my lord, we're resetting. Oh my.
It's unfortunate that you give up the Refresher Orb, Shard, but the Aegis, that's the real big thing, right? Because it feels like they're having a tough time killing In Your Dream once with this, again, 4 Protect 1 style. But yeah, killing him twice, I don't know how possible that's going to be. And now the rest of the heroes are just focusing a little bit more on their own utility, it seems. Paulson going into the Aeon Disc for himself. Wouldn't hate to see Invoker go a similar sort of strategy as well, just to make sure he's not getting popped at the start of all of these team fights. And speaking of Invoker, Radial Deafening Blast, pretty damn effective against this this lineup that you've got. You know, you get into the Wukongs without that BKB, means that you could very easily get pushed on out.
It does feel like Radiant are lacking these ways to find these key heroes on Dire's side, and more importantly, I think Yokam. We're seeing what this time lapse can do, just to you chuck every ability on someone, and then all of a sudden they're just back to full health, and you're like, crap, what do we do afterwards? And I don't know if this now needs to be an answer in like a Abyssal Blade from VT Faded to maybe offer some control when Weaver just blinks into the command. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, we've been saying what Nigma's strategy is find the Shadow Demon, go on him, pop him, right? Because then all of your defensive potential is gone. Love the Nullifier, by the way. It's going to be able to make sure that the Ghost Scepter isn't going to be able to save him. He needs to make sure he's popping that Disruption. And you've even got the Abyssal Blade, of course. So tons of ways still to kill the Shadow Demon. From Ragdoll's side, it's a similar sort of story, right? You just need to not go on the PA. It's easier said than done, but you need to find someone else to be able to kill, which is why I really like the fact that Undying is going into this Aeon Disc to provide him with that extra little bit of control. They're still anchoring around this Tombstone in a lot of these team fights, and yeah, if you're able to somehow take that away from them, then I feel like Ragdoll still have a chance, but it's rough.
I mean, how much value could we see Ragdoll put on Menu Ping's Aghanims? Is it like because I know, like, we've been speaking the entirety of this game that Nigma.SEA are focusing the Shadow Demon. We have to get rid of this hero because of his value in fights, but do we want to see Radiant give Menu Ping some time to get the ads? I know it's difficult. You're 45 minutes in. It's pretty much just all it is on the back of 5v5s, making sure no one gets picked off. But how can you get Shadow Demon this Aghanims? Because the Purge is not only great versus Spirit Breaker, but now exceptional because you have the Break versus the PA too.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough, right? Because Nigma Galaxy, they got the Philosopher's Stone, Ragdoll, they didn't. So you would have loved to have that on the Shadow Demon this entire time, and it's not like you can ever reveal on lane, farm, you know, a little bit more greedily because you're up against a Spirit Breaker. He's going to be charging you, he's going to be killing you, he's going to be taking you out of every single team fight, and there's really not too much that you can do against that. Speaking of Spirit Breaker as well, hitting up onto that level 25, and he has enough gold to be able to get that full refresher orb if he wants it. So I wonder if that will be the strat, buy out or still save the buyback, considering how quickly you can look to rejoin a lot of these engagements. Might see him buy the other Void Stone, just to still have both components. You'd only be spending unreliable gold for that.
Do you feel like there's much value in the refresher? Actually, never mind. I was going to say much value in it just before the Aghanim Shard, but I guess you can just BKB, ulti one person, and then LT them again afterwards with so much control that Ragdoll can't do, like, they can do 0 to it.
Hopefully everything's okay. Asking for the wait here coming through.
There we go.
It's a rough one.
It is. It's a tough stage for everyone to be in. I mean, again, with so much on the line, like last slot remaining, that these two teams have worked their asses off the entirety of the season. We saw Nigma.SEA 2-0 Ragdoll in week 5, and for Ragdoll to come back and take game 1, yes, they lost game 2, but still, there would have been a lot of confidence for Nigma.SEA to come into this series knowing that they previously beat Ragdoll 2-0.
Yeah, I'm breathing a sigh of relief. Every single time now that I see a DC, I'm always panicking. I'm always panicking, man. Oh, motivate, no.
Not the boys. So devastating to see.
They're doing their best to give Menu Ping this farm. You know, he's farming from the trees, trying to push this out as much as possible. Citrus, in traditional core fashion, went forward just out of reflex to try and take it away. But they know that they need this Aghanim Scepter.
In your dream, gonna look to jump the Nyx Assassin. Not the easiest target to burst down. They've already used the Wukong's command without any extra stun lock, so Nigma.SEA, they've been able to evade the early ultimates. Polisin will cost him his life as Jokem. A little bit too late with the initial help.
Doesn't have the vision advantage, though. You might feel a little bit more worried about taking this next fight. How close is he to... Oh, he's nowhere close, actually, to the level 25 for the Reincarnate there on the Undying. Playing that very sacrificial role so far, but it just highlights further that importance of having the Aeon Disc, right? You have Aeon Disc there, you live, and then you're able to retake that team fight without considering the boat, without having the Wukongs to worry about. And all you really expended would have been that Tombstone.
I really want Citrus to go Aghanim's Scepter. I think you need Chaos, and I think you need AoE control to enable the Wukongs. This is way too many times we've seen now that Dive just being able to completely evacuate them from the area, and that is too big of an ultimate to get no value out of. So you got to do something to work into that, and I think Aghanims is the only way.
So you think this game might be decided, for example, by like Jokem getting clipped by a stray torrent from the torrent storm,
or even like PA getting clipped as well before BKB. Like she's wanting to go in. Apologies, jump in, force out some abilities, and then jump out. But if you get clipped from a torrent storm, who knows what happens afterwards? Then Citrus can, maybe Yif can jump in with Impale, or you got the Boundless. You're forcing then Dire to use their defensive spells not exactly how they want to in conjunction.
Yeah, for sure. And well, my wish is going to be granted, hopefully, with the Aghanim's Blessing being queued up next by the PA. You've obviously already been so effective in a lot of these engagements, but that's really just going to take it over the edge. You know, having the much lower cooldown on the Blur, of course, increasing the the fade time there. And yeah, of course, just being able to instantly jump between all of these heroes, Fan of Knives, applying the break for extra 3 seconds consistently in a lot of these engagements is going to be huge, right? Like, it just provides that extra little bit that's going to reduce the Monkey King's offensive capabilities and heavily reduce the Timber's defensive ones. Speaking of breaks, do we have... no, it's still going to be the refresher that Spirit Breaker's going into, and he's damn close to picking it up with having buyback as well. You would have to assume it's going to be the Ag Shard after that as well for Mizu.
Yeah, I think maybe he's delayed it for so long because PA got the Aghanim Shard with the second Roshan, so he doesn't really feel as much value to go into it, but... So even just the extra 200 damage and the spell immunity is crazy. Maybe now you don't have to pop BKB to get this ulti off.
True. And for everyone that's watching that might have tuned in, having a look at Liquipedia and saying, hey, where are these Div 1 tiebreakers? Well, we got a Div 2 tiebreaker here going on. For those that aren't aware of the stakes going on right now, the winner of this Game 3 advances to Division 1 for next season. So it's high stakes, and we've got another late game match coming on. And speaking of late game, I think people say it all the time. It's super cliche, but let's just say it anyway. The big thing that matters, it's not the net worth to a certain extent, it's the buyback. So the only one that doesn't have it right now is the Kunkka. So I think we could probably expect to see one of these big team fights. Probably not going to look to take one on Nigma.SEA, considering they only have about 40 seconds left on this Aegis, Undying spawning in 7 seconds. It's a really short window to try and go for a big play. So I think it's just going to be farming up the next key item, maybe even fighting around the next Roshan as well.
Are there even any level 25s you feel like are going to have the impact in some of these games? Because I think all the cores have got it at the moment.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, are there any that are up and coming? It doesn't seem like it. You know, there's a long wait until we're going to get up to our next amount. I mean, I don't know, maybe the Whirling Breath attribute reduction might be nice just for that additional burst potential against the likes of a PA if she gets clipped by a stun off to the side. The Bloodthorn as well also provides a lot of that. All the attacks having True Strike as well, fantastic against the PA. So I'm liking this picker. I mean, always with Ragdoll, it feels like their itemization is on point. It's just Nigma Galaxy, they're so good at team fighting that sometimes it's just too overwhelming. So it's about that 3-second window, sorry, 5-second window with the Bloodthorn debuff, and making sure that you're locking down this Weaver for that duration, if you can.
It's a game where we don't really see a lot of team fighting as well. There's not that big, you know, Tide or Mars or, you know, continue the list on. Yeah, there's a couple of heroes, but nothing chaotic like we've seen in the past.
Mizu's going to do his best to be that, though, with the refresher orb being picked up, and that's not just that as well. Finally, Menu Ping, he's got the Aghanim Scepter. Wow, right. So multiple ways to apply break, going to be incredibly important onto the Spirit Breaker, onto the PA. Those are going to be the two main targets.
I know it's probably a dream if Menu Ping gets another item, but what is the next one he queues up? Is it Blink for reposition or Aeon Disc just to make sure he doesn't get bursted? Maybe can't go Aeon because of Nullifier?
Yeah, it's Aeon Disc for sure.
Okay.
Just because if PA is going to nullify you, she's killing you anyway, right, with the Ghost Scepter. So I feel like you just need to protect yourself against the Spirit Breaker charge so that you can do something, right? Like, just spam out that Demonic Purge on someone in the team fight, and you're going to get the value out of it. Shadow Demon.
Smoked is 5 on the right side of the lane. Polison, unfortunately, awkward timing is going to run to the creeps, and actually GY wants to pounce on forward. They've caught out the Shadow Demon in the backline, but a beautiful US Scepter will give Menu Ping an opportunity to get to the safety, but they're instantly going to pounce as Alacrity and Co. putting the emphasis to get rid of the Shadow Demon, but simultaneously, there's no one controlling the Wukong, so VT Faded going to look to pop the refresher and charge up the second use of the ulti, but they're fighting deep in the side of Radiant, so the buybacks are going to come into the fray. GY putting the emphasis on kids. They need to chase down Alacrity. Is the detection there? Yifa's got the gem, the torrent. Oh, they got the vision though. X back, yours on timing. Oh, well, Alacrity's out.
Ooh. I didn't even need to use the buyback that time on Mizu.
They're still sticking around. They've got this lane watch in. Your Dre's gonna jump. On top of Citrus, the protection needs to be there, but without the Shadow Demon, they'll lose the conk up at VT Faded. Lines up for a two-man boundless. The damage ramping up. So Nigma.SEA, they've got to be cautious of the angle they take. Alacrity, he doesn't care though. Jump into the middle. They've got Mizu to follow up. They'll target the Timber and die back for GY. Yif is the next on the agenda. He can borrow for as long as he wants, but there's no extra assistance to come through. As Ragdoll lose 3, they've got buybacks, but you see how these chaotic fights are favoring Dire.
Radiant's middle tower is
Sure,
under
that time
attack.
again, the Aghanim Shard coming in handy, being able to catch out a couple of these heroes. Most notably the Nyx Assassin. All these buybacks are being used. We talk about that being the important resource. Oh, so much damage, actually. Taking out the entire creep wave. It's all about delaying, it feels, but well, it's a lot to have to deal with. This high ground menace of the Nyx Assassin is going to make things a little bit more challenging, and there we go. We've got a lot more protection for the supports as well in Nigma.SEA now, with the Aeon Disc being picked up by Paulison. It's such a rough one for Ragdoll to fight into.
I mean, Alacrity went huge that fight. To follow up with Mizu, to jump the backline, we saw the use of the refresher and how just the spell casting. There's a reason that Nigma.SEA have been giving him the Invoker, I think, is this 4 or 5 times now through the past couple of series. Just late game, what the Invoker can do is ridiculous, and Operation Save the Gem, they've got it back.
Oh, but they've got the Ag's Blessing on the PA. And he's got... Look at that next item he's got.
Who,
here.
PA? Is it Rapier? Oh, I was
yeah.
just gonna say, I really wonder if Conker thinks about a Rapier.
Well, you might not even need to buy your own if you have a really
Very
good
true.
TV. You can get it for free. Discount bin.
I mean, in your dream, man. Kami-sama. There's been a lot of questions with him. 16, 1, and 10. They've done everything to amplify the PA through this game. Not only his farming, but also the fights as well. And, I mean, it's showing with the KDA.
Sure, for sure. It's a quick-ish Roche respawn. Next 25 seconds, it's going to be available. You've got everything that you could possibly need. What's the buyback status looking for Nigma.SEA? The 2 main cores, they've got it, but everyone else still feeling a little bit lacking. They definitely want to have this vision advantage in the area, but Observer Wards, they're at a premium at this stage, and right now, the map's pretty damn dark for Ragdoll.
They got to get out the map, though. There are no Roches. Upshall in this one cannot go for free. They're a little bit disconnected. Alacrity away from the team. See Eurocam at the moment. They also see them leading into the pit. How do they get the angle? GY's going to start the fight. VT Faded looking to jump on forward as well. He hasn't found the perfect placement of the Wukongs, so look to try and target down Mizu. They've killed off Eurocam as well to the side. They both don't have buyback. Alacrity wants to put the team on the back. He'll get rid of the Shadow Demon. A 4-on-3. GY wants more blood as well. Actually, simultaneously in your dream, it's going to pounce on 4 for more, but he's going to be cautious. Hook it up. He's brought down. PA, too aggressive. Easy kill into Roche. They go in Ragdoll. Oh my, oh my.
I mean, he's been playing well, but I don't think you can 1v3 in that sort of situation when you don't have your supporting cast.
Does he do it? Does he jump? Alacrity staying nearby. He's going to go for it. Alacrity. This is a huge play, but it's just a big old whiff. Alacrity's gone. Roche picked up. Everything claimed for Ragdoll. Oh my god.
I mean, the bottom lane's in a pretty decent position right now for Ragdoll. They're probably going to look to connect through to that. And the buyback's having to start to come through. You wouldn't want to be caught out here. He doesn't have any defensive items either.
VT Faded's beelining into the area. They aggressively glyph.
Love it. He really wants that Wind Waker gold. He's got it.
PA bought back.
On now in the career.
Oh my, I thought they were going to try and hold the PA buyback. They're all in on this defense.
You got to wait. You got to wait for the Weaver at least. They drop the Tome of Knowledge. I assume that's for Weaver.
Wind Waker now completed on the Invoker. Almost a second life for anyone that gets jumped. I think you just try and wait for the next set of barracks.
There we go. Weaver still just short of the level 25. 21 XP away. Be able to get close enough for it, but
BT
Might get
faded.
beggars from this.
They might.
Looking for the disarm.
Is under attack.
Drop the Wukongs. We'll give them the opportunity to get the objectives and get out. He can't treat ants at the moment because of the bug, so someone needs to deal with it. Nigma Galaxy.SEA
Tiebreaker. He's
hunting
coming.
in the night. They don't have the Shadow Demon connected with the team as well. Mizu will start on the Conquer, but he's got the Ascetic Cap. Citrus,
Nice plug.
not the easy target to bring down. Alacrity's going to blink in the tree line. But a Boundless Strike will hold them back, and Yif on the higher gun. It's
doing it
giving
again,
Ragdoll
Yif.
the opportunity to get out to safety, but it looks like it will cost him his life nonetheless. He doesn't have a buyback. If everyone on Ragdoll get out, you might be happy with that, but Mizu's hunting. He's got a blink and menu ping. The straggler will be penalized. 2 supports, the price for all the objectives that have been claimed.
Yeah, you got to go all in. Look at the lines being drawn on the map. They're just like, push these lanes out so they don't rat us. You've got a Monkey King with Aegis who's probably not going to feel too scared about wanting to go for this all-in play to try and force Nigma Galaxy.SEA back. But right now, it's just all in. They need to continue moving forward. Lanes are in a better spot now, especially with Alacrity pushing out this next one. Are they going to be able to close it out in the next 50 seconds when you don't have to deal with these 2 pesky supports who are doing a fantastic job?
Danog, would you believe that Dire have the probability? It's 56% in their favored right now.
Look, I didn't go to school for math, all right? So, I don't know about any
faded?
of all that. They clip it with the bugs as well, revealing them for a little bit. Will that enable this jump?
Don't have everyone up for another 50 seconds, Ragdoll. Looks like the Wukong's just a delay. And he's got
He did
MKB
not lose
backpack
anything.
too.
He's got a refresher if he wants to as well.
They might jump straight away afterwards. They're using the Sun Track for the vision.
Just to enable the Forge Spirits. They're in that sort of situation.
Lincoln's pop, BT faded. BKB again, making space, delaying the siege. In your dreams, gotta be cautious, but Yokem. Beautiful placement. Time lapse. Now use to refresh the resources on In Your Dream. I think they gotta get
losing
out.
a tier 3 from this, yeah.
Oh.
What a great hold. I mean, I assume with a Nyx Assassin, I feel very confident in that sort of ability to hold on to the high ground, but without the 2 supports still being able to do it, sure, you use your Refresher Orb, but I think you're totally cool with that on the Monkey King.
And Ragdoll just a band of players that have come together, grinding third-party tournaments. We've seen them through the likes of, you know, the QH series where they've been able to take tournament after tournament over there and just grinding as a team. You know, players you might not be familiar with like Menu Ping and GY, but they've come together. They've now got a 3,000 net worth lead and maybe 1 fight away of making it to Division 1, but they have to go up against the Rapier on Phantom Assassin. BT faded. He's going to look to start. They run into Polison. Down to the southern side as well. They're trying to hold the Conquer back, but the Wukong's not the greatest area. Off to the eastern side, though. Mizu's in trouble. Yiv's going to look to jump on forward. They need the protection. It's going to come through instantaneously. Jokem. Time lapse out to safety, but Mizu's still in trouble. A second use of the Wukongs will make sure there's no way for Nigma Galaxy to get inside the mids.
In your dream, he's on his own.
Oh, he's got to be cautious. GY's looking to jump on forward with the BKB. It's out to safety. Who else is caught out? Alacrity. Disconnected from the team. They don't have the control nor the vision, but now they're on top of the GY Dimbasaur. GY, he's trying to make as much space as possible. The Phantom Assassin still, he doesn't have the BKB to make use of this fight. Rapier's still waiting for an angle in. Now he's going to look to jump VT faded without the age of the time lapse. Out to safe to the northern side, but VT faded. Now there's no escape. He can't even stand his ground. They've gotten rid of the Monkey King.
Oh my god. Every time with these teams, man. They just keep bringing it later and later. It's still 1,000 net worth lead only to Nigma.SEA. And 40 seconds away from, you guessed it, those tier 5 items. And it feels like we're going to get to that stage. We've still got a lot of buybacks available. Having the, I don't even know what you would call it, composure to not snap buyback on that Monkey King. It's a ballsy play when you consider you might be losing the game if you lose that entire team fight, but the ability of both of these teams to disengage is pretty damn solid.
I think this might even be our first tier 5 neutral item class of Winter Tour.
In a while.
I can't remember if we've gotten one so far, and again, like, Wouldn't
What a
you
way to
want to
end
have it any other way? Wouldn't you want to have it any other way? 60 minutes. Here we go. Arcane as well for more than likely Alacrity.
I want to see that terminology come out here for In Your Dream. It feels like they're just not quite getting the crits through on the PA. They're getting a little bit unlucky with it, but if you get that level 30, you're going to have the extra 7% chance.
Radiant got to get out.
You need
Oh,
Fallen
Fallen
Sky.
Sky. Oh no, man. We've seen this item just do absolutely stupid things. Radiant got to get out. You hit neutrals. Do you even smoke for it? Like, it feels like Dire have done that.
I feel like you give Fallen Sky to In Your Dream, to be honest.
Is it just mainly for positioning?
Yeah, why not? You don't even need a target to blink to, right?
Yep. What's the cast animation on it? Like, how long does it take to...
1 second.
Okay. So, is it Mizu holding at the moment? He's got no neutral.
Dying has it.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, backpacked. Okay. Radiant got to get out. You're getting neutrals, my guys. T-Fader's going to just that.
Lance Ring.
Who do you give that to? Is that... Do you give that to Shadow Demon just for his... He's got Telescope at the moment, but it really feels like it all comes down to how Menu Ping can position himself.
Well, it's going to be Kunkka. He's a big boy, and he hasn't
Let's
even
see.
popped the BKB yet.
Oh my god.
Level 30 as well, by the way. He hasn't bought the Shard or the Torrent Storm.
I want the Torrent Storm really bad. He needs
How
it.
far away from buyback on the PA? I mean, it of course feels awkward to buy back after dropping the Rapier, but you're a PA, right? You've got the potential to still turn around to 10.
They're coming outside the base. Come on.
He's so close to level 30. Coming through now.
Desolator on PA. Upgraded Deso. Holding Force Boots. I guess this is a really nice item if you're, late game carry and you're 6-slotted without holding boots. Oh my god. This
Can
just...
be nice against the, yeah.
Dude, I don't even know what to say. This just adds a complete another layer of complexity in a game like this.
This is where you turn your brain off and you just scream at everything that's happening.
Okay.
Death tax.
That really does feel like how it is. You've got... these fights are so chaotic. Alacrity's jump in the back. Mizu's charging another. Timber's up in the face. Shadow Demon's all the way on the back line, trying not to get killed. VT Faded wants to be in the middle to drop a Wukong's. What a game.
Gotta be careful in your dream with moving forward. We've seen multiple times that Kunkka's jumped on in and used that Tiebringer to just completely nuke down a creep wave, but he's got probably one of the best items that you could hope for on the PA. He still doesn't have the boots, so he's walking around kind of slow, but that Ex Machina with 4 active items is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Do you feel like that is probably the most important neutral item we have so far out of all 5? It's hard to say.
So.
Okay. And Radiant got their own as well.
We just saw that last team fight, right? He was forced to just stay out of the team fight because you couldn't jump in with this Rapier with no BKB.
Alright, while we get a chance, you take a look at the net worth. The Radiant supports, they're just nowhere near what the Weaver is, especially. Nyx is really just playing off the back of the ultimate, the Aghanim's. And do you feel like this is, even with such little net worth that Yif has, do you feel like it's still providing a lot of value for them in fights?
I don't even know, man. It's been good, though. It's been phenomenal. Just wanting to be in place to be able to pull the smokes. And seems to be just out as well. The gem right now on C. I might have one. It's on you as well.
Smoke up. Roche on the target. It's already falling. They're even going to boat defensively to make sure they can secure it, Dire. They got all vision in the area thanks to the bugs. How do they start the fight, though? They're going to look to jump Menu Ping. Alacrity does an exceptional job with the help of In Your Dream. Mizu is going to continue to charge on. Menu Ping's not down just yet. They're doing all they can to get rid of the Shadow Demon. They'll do so successfully. Now In Your Dream, with the help of the Rapier damage, he's going to go up against the extra armor for the Wukongs, but he's got to be cautious. He's falling ever so low. A blink out, the help of the double damage rune. They've gotten rid of the Ages on Timber. All right.
He's able to get that second usage of everything. The X pick up for them.
Oh my. This is just crazy with what's going on at the moment. Shadow Demon down. You lost to Timber. That was the Ages. Conquer fell as well. You did buy back. What else do we have? Spirit Breaker. A buyback still on cooldown for him.
PA can buy Moonshard as well now. It might come down to one of those things that little bit of extra vision at night could be the difference. Level 25 obtained by Undying as well.
Oh, they cut the tree. Monkey. Okay, at the moment, has to pop the defensive BKB. But now with the arena, instantly, Nigma.SEA, they can't protect their buildings. They'll utilize the glyph. They'll turn it back around afterwards once the Wukong's Inspire is rated. I don't know if they can stick around. This was a lot committed. They didn't get any value out of it. So in your dream, instantly, jumping on forward on top of the Timber, but he's got to be cautious. Mana getting burnt, health getting burnt as well. There's the Torrent Storm coming to play. Not creating as much chaos as they need as GY. Chain down to the low ground, he's into the trees, but they got the vision in your dream. It's gonna utilize the bugs to jump on forward. They've lost the Timber. If they have detection? Oh, they do. Of course you do. You don't have detection 66 minutes in. What are you doing? Now make sure there is no consequence there.
Range racks 250 HP.
Oh.
This'll come in handy.
He could still buy that Moonshard on the PA. You need that every little bit. You need to squeeze out of this game as much as possible. It might be that night vision that ends up being the difference as well.
Weaver's got a refresher. Because that could be the thing. I mean, what, 20-second cooldown on time-lapse? That could be the window where Radiant can blow a hero up afterwards. Oh, no. VT faded.
They tell.
I think they know. I think they know. He can't BK VT back because Mizu's here. So VT faded. Oh, there's no way he escapes. He's a goner. Oh. Dude, any little action, I'm like Craigasming.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's actually such value at this point as well. Polison's holding on to the pirate hat, so he's going to get those bounties. 153 gold each.
Is everyone 25? No, just the Shadow Demon. They did give him the giant string. Okay.
Oh my god. He looks like an Aghadim's Labyrinth boss.
He does too. Maybe given a BKB or a Bloodlust, then he'd be a true Labyrinth hero.
Alright.
Middle tower
They've defended towers before, but it was with the use of that Wukong's command. They don't have it this time around, and they're still not going to have the next for another 5. They still can't take a tier 3, damn it.
Hey, it's up to the Forge Spirits. That's their duty.
I'll see you, Forge Spirits.
Nice job. Very well done. Duty done. They're going to actually look to jump. You don't want to force the Monkey King buyback. You're fighting 4v5. Ragdoll, this is really the skirmish you want to take as GY's in trouble. They'll put him under for a second. Monkey King's going to look to buy back, but they're on top of the Shadow Demon. They'll turn to deal with the Spirit Break on top of the outskirts. Invoker's gone. Torrent Storm. They get the lucky use. Bye-bye Alacrity. And now GY's hunting for more as well as Paulson will attempt an ambitious TP out. He's got the reincarnation thanks to the 25, but he'll die a second time.
There's actually the losing the unreliable gold, which means that the Invoker doesn't have buyback. He immediately switched over to have the Philosopher's Stone as well. So he's slowly ticking up more and more, and he's got it. He's finally been able to pick it up with the extra use of that pirate hat. Immediate value.
I have a 21,000 net worth lead, and they are down 2 foot sets of barracks and about to be megas.
It's the power of thick Shadow Demon. He's just sending illusions.
Do you jump before they get set up? And your dream's ready for it.
Forced up
Wait,
to forward.
Charging in. He's in the bow for a short duration, but the damage mitigation will not keep his life, but they've done the job. Mega creeps, the space from the Nyx will let them get out as well. Do you just walk it down? Is that the last hope now, almost?
I mean, you use the buybacks there on both the Weaver and the Invoker. And the Undying, actually. Yeah, you'd have to say so. I mean, any other big timings coming up? I mean, I mean, that question.
Dude, Pierre's got 12,000 gold.
Yeah. What could you even buy?
Oh, surely another Rapier and at least put it in base. Mizu's got 7k gold. Like, what does he buy?
Yeah.
Maybe a Moon Shard. Yeah, he's got everything. Shard, Blessing.
He's holding onto the Stygian Desolator just in case they need a base race or something.
They're walking down again. Maybe this time they'll crack the code. Even using the Cataclysm for vision. They're gonna jump to you, White.
Oh, just coming.
They've got the Purge now on the Phantom Assassin. Great use of the time lapse, Jocam. Get him out to safety. Hey, at least they got the tier 3 finally.
Yeah. Let's go siege creeps. Do your job. All
Jesus.
Citrus needs to do is hit it once though, and they're gone. I'm sure they're like, hit the raged. It's gonna regen.
Oh, honestly, thank you. I'm losing my voice. I don't know if people can tell you. Yeah, I feel like you deserve a toilet break. You can't be taking fights on a full bladder. Not like this. 70 minutes in. Take your break. I need my break. I'm losing my voice. There's no chance I have it tomorrow. Without a doubt, it's gone.
You just need to sip some mate, my man.
Straight up. Got it right next to me, baby. I mean, we are going way over time too. What, we're an hour over what Division 1 is supposed to be?
Yeah.
Those poor guys.
I mean, I'm one of those guys.
Screw you. I don't give
the players.
Yeah.
The players. Those people. We don't need them.
I mean, has anything really been changing these fights? We've had 70 minutes really to speak about. We've had 70 minutes to speak about kind of the win condition on either side, and you really believe nothing has changed?
I mean, the only thing that's changing is who is executing slightly better, who's getting a little bit luckier with the place that the Torrent Storm's going to, who's getting a little bit luckier with some crits on the PA, same sort of thing with the bashes on the Spirit Breaker, and like, are your reactions quick enough on someone like Jocam where you can get the time lapse off? He's been damn good, by the way, of being able to save consistently. And then it's just going to be that war of attrition, right? Like, who's going to have the buybacks at the end of the day? At this point in time, it's just Mizu and In Your Dream that have got it. Everyone else, it's a time issue. Kunka's going to have his up in 2 minutes. Everyone else, 5 minutes plus. So, might be this next Roche that decides the battle, and it'll be Nigma.SEA with the 2-to-1 buyback advantage. I wonder if that means that Ragdoll are going to look to make a play a little bit before that's a bit of an issue.
I still cannot believe In Your Dream has 14,000 gold. 14,000. My guy, you are rich beyond your wildest imagination. You could buy whatever you want to, even Boots to Travel 2, for that matter. It's like, you know what? I'll let it keep brewing.
He's going to Bloodthorn himself.
Do you like that?
Don't hate it. I mean, it's gotten to the stage where this Battle Fury isn't that value, to be honest.
Radiant are scanning.
Wait, is he still backpacking it, or did he get rid of it? I think you still backpack it, right? Because Megas?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. But, like, in terms of what it provides in a team fight,
sure.
probably not too much. I mean, Ragdoll don't care. They're like, well, we might contest Roche, but until then, we're just sitting in our little burrow here. We're totally cool. I think they just passed the Giant's Ring over to him as well. So if he switches it over, it's just going to expand, I guess.
Goddamn PC issues. Oh, we're pulling out 3 minutes. You hate to see it.
Nino cracking the whip.
Bro, some of those admins, Jesus. They make sure.
On a power trip, honestly.
Mate, you are... the power you can feel. I've seen some of you. You're in the lobby. Nothing. It's not Nino in particular, so I don't want anyone to think that, but... yeah, as soon as you go over the time where people aren't in the slots, you guys got 5 minutes. You better get in here.
I'd be scared.
Nino is kind of a scary guy. I don't know. You could take him in one-to-one hands combat?
Maybe if I have 2 hands and he has 1.
What?
If it's an uneven matchup in my favor, maybe I could take him. He's just that scary.
I don't know if that's how life works.
well,
You just somehow you're able to bind one of his hands. All right, fair enough.
he might be feeling sorry for me, you know?
Understandable. I mean, your work schedule right now must be through the roof. So yeah. I mean, he's kind of crazy as well. We pause back on the way. Who wins a 1v1 in a fight like this? If you really got it, and you're 70 minutes in, not including items, but just brawling, the good old punches in it. I feel like can anyone compete with a Monkey King? This dude's kind of scary.
Bro, but what if crit, bash, crit? You know? It's got to come down to luck, in my opinion, at the end of the day. I'm going to have all my eyes on, all my 2 eyes on In Your Dream.
It's felt like he hasn't gotten too lucky this game either. Like, we just haven't seen the daddy Gaben luck on his side. The double damage, the crits coming out left, right, and center, just evaporating heroes. I guess Radiant have done a good job with how they've itemized. You see a lot of armor on the Conquer, especially with the AC. Is Machina? Yeah, oh geez, gives you 20 armor, so yeah, there's no way you're blowing him up. Timber's already got plus 20 as well without any reactive armor stack, so you just gotta kill the supports. Lead in with the numbers advantage, reset after that, kite the fight, then go back in. I definitely think that is the one thing that Dire have an advantage of on how they can get in and out of fights. So, whereas Radiant, you kind of, as soon as you reset, to then go back in and follow up Nicking Galaxy is a lot more difficult than what like a Spirit Breaker and Invoker can do.
Mizu's got an arcane blink. Someone's going to have to deal with that bot lane, and someone's going to have to deal with Roche, because it's coming up in 40 seconds. I mean, obviously the team that's being mega creeped has a lot of a harder job in being able to take it, because your lanes are constantly being pushed in. You haven't taken even a single ranged Rax to help with that. So it's going to favor Ragdoll. So let's have a look at who might be the main benefactor from that sort of situation happening. I'm seeing either Aghanim's Scepters or Aghanim's Blessings already completed on every single one of them.
I had the ward by the triangles. They are well aware that Radiant have maneuvered outside the base. They've also got a pretty good position on how the side lanes are as well. Is this 5th or 6th Roche? I've lost count. I don't know what we're up to.
I think it's 6.
All I know is we've got Aghanim's Refresher Shard as well, of course.
That is a big Nyx assassin.
Bro, we get bugs like that down under. My god, and we're seeing it in Dota too. Sheesh. Sheesh. I mean, we gotta give off the biggest sheesh at the end of this game. I feel like it's only due.
And then straight to the panel.
Straight to the panel. You better have a goddamn good costume later. I'm telling you. So everyone in chat can hold you accountable. If Danog is not wearing the best costume, you all...
Then blame Natty.
What? What's saying you got Nako to do with this?
I'm casting. I can't do 2 things at once. I'm a simple man.
Why is Nyx pulsing? Is that because the giant... It must be because the giant's ring. That's kind of cool.
The hell? Yeah, I guess.
New mechanics every day? Monka. At the end of the day, Radiant are going to have this advantage by Roche. Because Dire, they have to posture down bottom and top. Like we see... I guess this is the advantage of the Spirit Breaker. That he can always connect really fast. Especially with... I mean, he's level 30. So his charge is going to be moving a million miles an hour.
Yeah, but I wonder if that means that they kind of know that that's going to happen and you can look to get one of these pickoffs. He's got buyback, of course, but, I mean, Ragdoll are happy with this sort of situation. They just want to drag this out, and they probably don't want to take this Roche unless someone reveals in a really dumb position, and Nigma aren't going to do that. So they're just like, all right, well, let's just wait for all of our buybacks. We're already so hard to be able to push into. Let's just make it twice as hard.
You even got the Undying Courage to discount. Oh, is he faded? Hang on a second, brother. That's the boundary you're overstepping. They're gonna smoke.
Alacrity is moving around at like...
Radiant smoking as well. They're in the pit. Smoke on smoke. They're both popped. They've got the information. In Your Dream's gonna look to jump. There's the crits! They've gotten rid of the Monkey King. He can buy back to look to rejoin the fight, but now a big opportunity as a Cataclysm getting rained down. Radiant, they're still relatively healthy, but Alacrity, refresh it, use. Radiant, there's nothing they can do without the Monkey King's Wukong's command to provide the area denial. As Roche is falling low, there's the command out, but the Aegis, someone hasn't taken it just yet. In your dream, he needs to get his hands on it. Time lapse, still on the ground. He's got the shot. His backpack's full. Inventory full. Someone needs to help him. He'll just get the Aegis in the nick of time. But he's going to respawn on the command. Paulson instantly assassinated, but in your dream, jumps to the western side. Monkey just pulled back. Monkey's gone. Crits are finally online. 3 down. No buyback. Nigma.SEA, the late game team. They might have just done it.
Oh, the base, they did a great job of pushing out all these lanes, so they didn't even lose any damage onto the tier 4s, and that's 3 people without buyback. Timbersaw still got it, but they've been doing a great job at defending. This just seems too much, though.
I think that's game.
Yeah.
No way. Mega Creep comeback to qualify? Do you just right now? You've got Flamethrower. Citrus doesn't have gold for Rapier, so you can't base race. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
I feel like you gotta go on Nigma.SEA. Like, this is the window.
Oh, I mean, okay, they've got clear.
Buyback on every hero that's alive. And you finally have a window where you're going to guaranteed take a outnumbered team fight.
No one's getting set up to cut the wave too. So they're hauled up inside the base.
Radiant's middle
I mean, one fight we've seen In Your Dreams damage get lucky enough with the crits. And now he's got the Alacrity to amp him up too.
Oh my god.
What a damage at the moment. Citrus, they might be able to kill the Phantom Assassin. No way, they're stalling this out. Gee, why? This Timbersaw and Conquer, they're both the man on the mission. Screw buying the Rapier. Let's kill the PA and pick it up.
Oh my god.
They're gonna hold. Danog, they're holding.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Division 1. We're not done just yet.
There's another Rapier.
Alright, how long do we have until this game's over now? Like, did we just stall it back out, wait for next Roche? Like, what's the play?
I mean, that's the thing. It always happens around TI season, but this is as good as TI season for these two teams, right? If you don't get into Division 1, your chances to qualify for the TI based on points is basically gone. Like, you need those points from not only the seasons, but also potential to go to that second major. So, see what they're able to do. Does, what's going on with the Aghanim's Blessing here? Okay, Undying did end up picking it up and using it, so
hell is
increased skill,
okay.
baby.
Dope. Let's go Undying. I mean, Mizu's up in 30, so they probably won't be forced his buyback. You see how dire posturing at the moment. They know they're there.
Want to try and catch out the PA. You're going to need to buy back on the Spirit Breaker, so I think this is the smart choice. You're not going to lose your entire base in the time that it takes for Spirit Breaker to be alive.
Paulson. Timber does a lot of damage late game.
He's fine. Deep breath, please.
I'm breathing. Alright, so we do have Rapier back on the Phantom Assassin as well. The bank that he accumulated, it's dwindled quite a lot. Had it for vision. Charge on forward. Mizu's way ahead of the team though. Gif instantly looking to jump in. Control some area of the fight. They're gonna be cautious with Paulson. Almost getting ripped apart, but he's got the opportunity to anchor the fight now with the Tombstone. Timber's gone, but they have the outpost to buy back to TP2. They need to try and protect the PA, but an early use to the BKB. Still got another round of it available thanks to the Ex Machina. He's able to get out to safety with the Phantom Strike, but the rest of Radiant, they're pushing on forward for more as Alacrity coming to safety. He'll jump VT faded. GY's in the middle of the base here. Ragdoll. Gotta be cautious. You don't want to give them that opportunity to walk it back down.
Oh my god. All the buybacks remaining on Nigma.SEA except for the Nyx Assassin. But, I mean, insane if they could kill this PA. Almost all the damage on Nigma.SEA is gone.
Dude,
They're gone.
how? How? I'm sorry. How is it a 56% probability for Dire? I know you're 41.
lead is-
I get that. But how's this game so even still? Like, you rarely see 81 minutes in and the probability looking like that.
You know what it is?
Tell me.
It's that Undying having the Ags Blessing.
Let's
That's
go.
the-
And almost everyone
my
has
God.
blessings and shards. Just the
You're
demon.
crawling.
Yeah, Nixon Undying.
He just crawled up onto that
Apollo?
cliff using the giant spring.
Oh, gee, why? No messing around with the damage. They're going to look to charge on forward. Paulson's going to be pretty cautious as well. BKB jump inside the river, but VT faded. They give him the area denial thanks to the Wukongs, but still simultaneously, they've lost the Shadow Demon, but Mizu is hunting for more. Alacrity's going to jump in as well. They're targeting Citrus, and BKB is going to give him the opportunity to reach it. They're on top of GY, he doesn't have a buyback. In Your Dream's done it. They've gotten rid of the Timber, they're onto the Conqueror next. He both doesn't have a buyback. Again, In Your Dream, ultra kill. The crits are through the roof. Another window for Dire to walk it down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Or is it?
They lost
You
the
never
Rapier as
know.
well, didn't they? Should be second
Conquer,
dropped.
yeah.
I don't know who
you've
got
had
it.
This, yeah, good question. But you've had this. There was a Desolator still backpacked on the Spirit Breaker the entire time as well. So he's going to have that minus armor for the tower taking potential. You've got the AC as well. He's just looking for any kind of creep to show itself.
Dude, where's the
so he can
Rapier?
Charge on down.
I don't know where Conker's Rapier is, but anyway.
It's there to the south of the pit.
What? Oh, there. Oh, it's on top of the PA dagger.
PA. Yeah.
Oh, my. Okay, Radiant, they got Glyph back up. Monkey won't have enough gold for buyback. It's on cooldown, so another 50.
Radiant's middle
You'd probably
barracks
just have
are
to
under
double
attack.
Wukongs to defend.
Yep.
Radiant's middle barracks.
All right, they've taken a lane of racks. Let's go.
Let's go. First lane.
Double
Onto tier 4s
tombstones.
they
How do we
go.
fight into this?
And Mizu's going to charge into the command. Great timing with the BKB.
Radiant structures are
Objectives slowly starting to fall, so now they'll use the glyph to give them space to get rid of the tombstone. But that is the first use of the Wukong, so VT faded. He's gonna have to use the refresher, surely. These objectives are falling, you gotta do something! They're onto the throne, Nigma Galaxy's here, gonna do it! Dire! That would take the series 2-1. A base race almost in the end. I mean, Radiant, they were trying to defend, but the throne just gets obliterated from the Rapiers. Almost 84 minutes in, Danog. I don't know what happened this game, but congratulations to Nigma Galaxy.SEA.
You gotta feel so bad for Ragdoll, though, right? Like, to pull it out to that stage, to be able to stand on the high ground for so in situations where, like, no, surely they can't do this. And In Your Dream, a lot of people meme him, a lot of people flame him, but god damn, did he perform that game? 28, 3, and 19.
Yeah, just exceptional performance from my guy over on In Your Dream. That was absolutely crazy. I don't know where to start. I have no idea where to start. Mega Creep come back, and to keep in mind as well, like Ragdoll, they took. I'm speechless, Danog. I am absolutely speechless with how they're able to execute these late game Dota. They have just been through time and time again the late game kings. It feels like.
Yeah. It comes down to the luck at the end, right? We saw what a big difference it was when PA finally started getting all those crits.
I mean, I just want to see how the boys are feeling. We're waiting for a player interview. I'm sweating in my seat right now. Well, they are through the roof. And who do we want? Ideally, I know, of course, we don't get a say in it, but if there was anyone you would want to speak to right now, who would it be?
I feel like everyone always says, whenever we interview them, that the person that's the loudest and the one that's really revving them up is Mizu. So I wanna get him while he's on that high, you know, because this is a big opportunity for him. You know, he's been toiling away for so long, and to finally get that opportunity is gonna be quite great.
It's exceptional for these boys. We've had the opportunity to cast them through many of the tournaments, the Pro Series and TI qualifiers as well. We've got Yocam on the line. I'm gonna bring him in.
I'll take it.
I'll let you start off with the questions. I'll ask a quick first one real quick. We'll make it a quick one as well because we do have Divi 1. Yocam, my man, first off, a massive congratulations. How are you and the boys feeling?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
You feeling great?
Sorry, what?
How do you feel? Are you
Uh,
describe the emotions to us?
I'm feeling so hype, yeah. Because we won the so long game. The fuck?
There we
It
go.
was 90 minutes or 80?
84. 84.
Oh, what the fuck? I can't remember.
Oh man, and you wouldn't have even gotten to that stage, in my opinion, if it wasn't on the back of your clockwork in that previous game. So, I have a question for you. How do you move around the map so great with balls that big? Because they have to be dragging you down somehow.
Actually, our coach already told us we just hold our area so well, and we know their post 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 one. Post
Mhm.
one move around, like he always go to other side alone. That's why we can gang him all the time.
The
Not all the
punish.
time, but yeah, just punish him.
Cool, cool. Honestly, like, we were exhausted casting that game. I'm sure the viewers were very tired watching that game. Tell me about it. How is it playing a game like that? Because I get tired from playing a pub that lasts this long. With this much on the line, in a competitive environment, with tens of thousands of people watching, every single move that you're making, what goes into that for you? Like, how do you do it?
I don't know. We just want to win the game. Yeah, that's all I think.
Do you
Cause
think it was?
I'm also tired
Yeah.
right now.
Do you think it was like? Was it the power of will? Do you think there was some luck involved? Because Ragdoll, they're obviously a very good team as well. What would you put it down to if you had to give one reason as to why you were able to take out the win at the end?
Yeah, of course they are a good team. Maybe we got some luck today.
For sure, for sure.
Maybe it's
I'm out of questions. I'm
maybe
exhausted, and I'm sure
yeah.
you are as well.
My
Yokem.
one last question, Yocam, real quick before we say goodbye. What teams are you excited to be versing in Division 1? Is there any in particular that you're looking forward to playing?
Mm, of course, Boom and T1. I think
Well,
they both are strong.
with how you and the boys are looking, you guys are incredibly strong as well. Taking the series 2-1 versus Ragdoll. Mate, congratulations. Go celebrate. Thank you for joining us. Any shout outs real quick before we let you go?
Thanks for who keeps supporting us. Yeah, enjoy the game, guys.
Mate,
I'm so
thank you.
tired.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the series. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations. And we'll see you next tour in Division 1.
Yep. Thank you. See you guys.
Thanks, mate. Danog, I'm absolutely speechless. A series like that to go the distance, and Nigma.SEA, the second team to move over to Division 1. They're going to be joining Polaris over there for the next tour. We've got to say goodbye to you. We are incredibly behind schedule. We've got Division 1 tiebreakers still going on, so you've got to get lost. You've got to go put a costume on. I'm disappointed if I don't see you in a good costume. I'm going to be raging in chat. But for me, I'm sure for you as well, it's been a pleasure casting Division 2 so far through the winter tour. For Danog and I, we'll see you guys shortly in the next tour. You'll see him, of course, in the stream that'll be kicking back up. Tiebreakers for Division 1 around the corner.
Stay tuned.